welcome back to my channel. This is Dom and another update on some of the painting projects I've been working on recently. So as you know from the last couple of videos, I've been continuing to work through some of the stash of opportunity I have here in the boot room, and not least these Romano-British figures that I've had for a couple of years now, and I just was always planning to have a go of Dux Britannia, and I've got some Saxon figures. I bought a few more just to supplement them, but I thought I'd get some Romano-Brits, and also I've never painted these sort of figures before, so I thought it'd be fun to do, and it has been really, and I've pretty much gone through them all. Now I can't remember exactly how many I've shown individually or not, so at the end of the video I'll show you the entire Romano-British force I've painted in the last couple of months, I guess, which is actually fairly reasonable numbers, probably more than I'm actually going to need for Dux Britannia, but you know, why are you surprised that I wouldn't sort of just go completely OTT and put too many figures together? Anyway, this is another group, obviously high-class warriors, or elite warriors, I guess, with chainmail and spears. They are pretty sure these are all Gripping Beast miniatures, metals, with the dastardly metal hands that I have so much fun with Gripping Beast. Actually, these ones were too bad. Managed to drill these through reasonably well without breaking hands off, or you know, having to put in polyfiller or whatever to fill the gaps. But anyway, so I'm quite pleased with how these come out. I've done them sort of everything sort of gold edged around the helmets just to show their status. They've got shield transfers from Little Big Man, and there's a priest providing religious inspiration to them on the end of the line. I assume he's a Gripping Beast figure as well. I'm not entirely sure. So the problem with buying loads of figures en masse is you forget exactly where they came from, but there you go. So that's the final group of infantry painted up. As I say, I'll show you the whole collection en masse in a bit, because I feel like I haven't shown each of them, but I can't remember which ones I've shown and which ones I haven't, so better to show it en masse. Anyway, there you go, some more infantry. So next up, this is another group for the Romano-British force. Well, actually the cavalry are Saxons, but I think probably for the period they're, you know, you couldn't really tell much difference between the two, so they can play either side. I believe in Romano-British the cavalry unit tends to be just 4 figures strong, so that's why I've taken this, and it's an option for later on in the piece. Again, they're Gripping Beast. The guy at the front, I have no idea where I got him from. I think he was a Kickstarter figure. I'm not even sure what period he's supposed to be. I think it looks like he is definitely a sort of Saxon Romano-British type character, and I thought he'd be great as a warlord, so I painted him up to join the Romano-British faction. So I think he came from a Kickstarter, but I really can't remember. He's been in the stash for a little while, and it's a nice figure. He's got sort of scale mail armour on. He's got the horsehair sort of accoutrements on the accoutrements, that's it, from the helmet, and I've tried to do him sort of up, as I say, as a high-class warrior to lead the warband. So there you go, some more done. So next up, some more for the Bruce's in Ireland project. I mentioned before, I think in some of the other things, I don't want lots of crossbowmen in the army, because again, most of the reading I've done of the period, it's certainly in Ireland, there weren't many crossbow troops. Now it's very likely that there were a few used in sieges, and possibly a few mercenaries kicking around with the more wealthy lords. So I've just done 2 small units of crossbow units. Now they're all sorts of different manufacturers of figures. There's some Footsore there. I think there's some from 1066, so they're a bit out of place date-wise, but they'll be fine. And some I've no idea where they came from, but I put them all together, and I think they're nice as a sort of hodgepodge of figures. And as I say, I don't plan to use crossbows very often, I think just to have a couple of units just to add a bit of variation. And they're not devastating in the rules anyway. And they won't benefit from skirmish ability or some of the other abilities that I'm going to give, like the Kerns that can move quicker through bad terrain. These guys won't benefit from anything like that. So I think their role should be fairly minimal. Their sort of impact on the table should be fairly minimal. But as I say, just adds another variation of troop types to use for both sides, I guess. Probably more likely for the Anglo-Irish forces rather than the Scottish-Irish forces. But I think either way, so given the fact they were in this period of medieval history, they tended to be used in sieges, either defending or attacking more than anything else. I think that would be quite useful for the tabletop. So there you go, some finished, and I'm quite pleased with the effect of this unit. It looks pretty good, I think. So next up, some more tanks for my early war German O group formations, 15 mils. These are Plastic Soldier Company. 4 of them are the... Oh, there's a load of dust I can see. Load of fluff on the back of one of them. Never mind. They are, let's say, Plastic Soldier Company. They're Panzer 38Ts and then 1 Marder. The same box allows you to build 38Ts and also variants of the Marder. I originally planned to do 2 Marders, but if I'm honest, they were complete biatch to put together. I had so much problems. I've mentioned many times I'm not a model maker. I need something simple, and I just could not get it to click right, get it. So in the end, the one that was going to be another Marder was converted into Panzer 38T, which actually was a very easy model to put together. So there you go. Painted in the same way I've done most of my early war Germans. They were black undercoated and then dry brushed or heavy brushed with a lighter grey and then another lighter grey on top of that, and then a deck tan colour over the top just to sort of accentuate the rivets and everything else. And I think it's quite effective, comes out quite well. And I've taken a recommendation, I think, from Tim to put the commander out for the lead tank in the formation. So there you go, some more for the O group. Yay, O group. So next up, a couple of terrain pieces. These are marsh type ponds stroke paddy fields, I suppose. Probably more marshy ponds than anything else. I picked these up and painted them up. Fairly straightforward. Actually, they were great fun to do. They're sort of resin, plasticky things. They look a bit shiny in this light, but they're not quite as shiny if you take them out of the direct light. So I've basically just sprayed them with a pretty dark brown, and then dry brushed a lighter brown over the top, just to sort of get the effect that I wanted, and then got a dark blue to paint inside where the water would be, and then a sort of lighter blue around the outside. In fact, I think I mixed various colours just to sort of show the transition through the different dark colours. It hasn't quite shown up like that, but it's fine. It'll do fine. And then before anything else, I put the tufts in and stuck them in the positions I wanted, and then got hold of the water resin from Woodland Scenics, I think it is, and just poured it in, which has given this water effect all the way through. Which I'll say it's a bit shiny in this light, but I think when it's not in direct light, it actually looks pretty good. So I'm quite pleased with how it's come out. So in fact, if you look at that one, you can see it's not quite so shiny because the light isn't pointing directly on it. So yeah, really pleased with how these came out, and they'll be useful for the table. And there you go, as promised, here's the Romano-British force completed. Well, I mean, painted all the figures that I had in the stash. Let's say, until I get to place some ducks, I won't know whether this is more than enough, whether I need any more troops. But anyway, you can see here the front guys here, these are all sort of officery types. I might well sell off some of these because I don't think I'm going to need that many commanders but there's some nice figures in there that I've really enjoyed doing. At the back there, a group of the high-class warriors, which just lots of male helmets and good quality looking weapons. Next to them is the lower class warriors here. No male, not much helmet on evidence, so they'll be the lower, the lower rank troops. Front here you got the warlord plus his priest. Over here was the archers, which I really didn't enjoy doing, and at the back there's the cavalry that I just showed you, and then on the back line there is another large unit of high class warriors, all in mail, helmeted, etc., swords, and high quality shields. So there you go. That's been painted up in the last, I don't know how long, probably a couple of months, I suppose, something like that. Just as a sort of I don't know, just to sort of do something a bit different, as a kind of appetizer before I launch into another big project. So pleased with how they came out. They before you say it, Leslie, if you're watching this, yeah, I need a few more flags. There's a few in that unit, but I need some more here, which I'll get round to doing at some point. They're quite straightforward to do. I've got some flags from Little Big Man, and the way I do them is just kitchen foil, whited, so that's with an undercoat white, cut roughly to shape. Then you put the transfers off, then cut it much tighter to shape, and then glue it to the flagpole, and then touch it up around the edges. And I find that if you stick it with super glue, if you act relatively quickly, and you don't have too much glue sticking out the side, coming out and sticking to your fingers, you can mould the flags into a shape that then it won't move again, or not much anyway. And I quite like the effect. So anyway, there you go. There's the Romano-British force in its entirety. I'll just give another swing by if it doesn't make you all feel too sick. But there you go. Quite pleased with how these have come out. So it's the first time I've really done Romano-British of all my ancient and Dark Age figure painting through the years. So it was quite fun to do, and they're quite straightforward. Anything that has sort of no real uniform and lots of mail is kind of easy in my book. So there you go. That's that done. So there you go. That's what I've been working on the last few weeks. I mean, I also did the Fighting Irish for the Border Wars figures, but if you're interested in that, you would have watched that video anyway. So I'll put a link here so you can see that as well. What else I've been working on? Otherwise, I think that's been fairly well it. I've been doing a lot of prepping of new figures, ready to launch into some more painting. And that does take up a lot of time. Plus, real life has kind of got in the way. We've been fairly busy, both at work and at home. So haven't done quite as much as I would normally do. And I know everyone's been going, "Oh, crikey, I wish I could do as much as you can." But my painting is generally when I'm bored at home, and when I'm busy doing other things, I don't paint anywhere near as much. So that's the reason. And I've been busy and I haven't been as bored. So that's why I tend to do less painting. But the problem is also I haven't done that much gaming either, because for various reasons I haven't been around on a Friday night to get down the club for several weeks, which is frustrating me. So hopefully that will be changed from next week onwards, and can get a few more Fridays in, and also can start doing a few more games solo on the table. So anyway, hope you're doing well, hope you're staying safe, hope your projects are coming together well. This is Dom signing out, and I'll see you again soon.